Sir? Is there something I can help you with?
You just go on and say whatever is on your mind.
I'm sure that there must be some kind of mistake. Feeny wouldn't kill anyone. Feeny? Like from Boy Meets World? Feeny? No? Okay.
Yes, Judd. Yes. I can see why you'd say that.
She's going to be a tough witness. All she has to say is, hey, Feeny wouldn't kill anybody. That'll convince him right away. They're in the palm of her hand. It only took her 12 seconds to wrap them all around her little finger.
Now then, please proceed with your testimony.
Speaking of Littlefinger, maybe she is some kind of criminal mastermind.
Let's hear about what you witnessed on the day of the incident, if you please.
I had been planning to go back to Feeny's place after class was over. I'm very curious to see what's going on with her, because apparently, with as much as, we know there's some bad shit, but as much as they're going out of their way to make her seem like the best person ever, she's probably going to be like the most evil human being imaginable, and that should be fun. Can she top Mad On Guard? I don't know. Feeny and Dougie, they were talking behind the building. Then suddenly, Dougie got all wobbly and just collapsed. That's when Feeny noticed that I was there. I went to go and find some other students and they called the authorities.
I don't know what to say. According to you, Miss Hawthorne, the defendant didn't do anything wrong.
Young lady, as old as I am, even I recall how hot the flames of young passion can burn. Nevertheless, it is my job to discover the truth. Please tell us the truth. But I would never. That's more than enough, witness. I won't allow this to continue.
What do you mean by that?
Please, just let me proceed with my cross-examination, Your Honor. I, for one, don't plan to win my case on a bunch of paper-thin lies. Hee, you haven't changed a bit. Excuse me? Do you know her? Mia Fey? Why do you know her? There's a lot more going on with this girl, and it might span multiple cases, multiple years. She might be like the big story of this whole game, for all I know. I feel like she's going to be a huge part of this. I could be completely wrong. What's this? So, you two are acquainted? Yes, we've met before. Once. Where? I mean, I guess it had to do with the case a year ago. That other case. Yeah. Weird.
In any case, Miss Fey, the floor is all yours.
It's good to see you again, Madam Fey. Madam? I'm no one's grandma yet, girlie. Alright. What were you gonna do? Now, unless I'm mistaken, Mr. Wright is in the art department. If that's the case, then what were you doing by the pharmacology building? Well, I'm in the literature department. I'm studying Japanese senryu poetry.
Oh ho ho, how wonderful. It's that humorous yet satirical style of haiku.
There is no fucking way that you know what that is. Out of all the shit that this judge doesn't know, there is no way that just came out of his mouth. Plot hole. Nothing left to do. When a man reaches this age, sleep is his best friend. What? That's supposed to be poetry? Sounds more like a midlife crisis. For me to get to the art department, I have to walk through that back area.
Oh yes, I see. That makes sense. When I want to enter the courthouse, I always walk through the front doors.
You see, this is the kind of thing I expect to hear out of the judge. How else would you enter? Teleportation?
Yes.
Behind the building. So who is this Dougie person? Oh, I'm sorry. Doug Swallow. We were dating until about 8 months ago. So what were Dougie, Mr. Swallow, and Mr. Wright talking about anyway? Whoa. Oh no. Mia, you horrible, vindictive fiend. Look at what you've done. I hold you in contempt. Like, immediately, the judge just fucking, guilty. How dare you, Mia? You make this girl cry. How can you be so mean? I would never eavesdrop. I wasn't raised to be so rude and unrefined. That's right, Miss Fay.
Don't drag the witness down to your level.
Why am I being demonized here?
Please go on. What did you see next?
Then suddenly, he just collapsed. Are you saying that the victim just collapsed on his own? Yes. In other words, the defendant never touched the victim, is that right? I was watching the whole time. Feeny never did a thing to Dougie. If I press her for no good reason, I just know the judge will get angry with me. So what should I do about her testimony just now? Yeah, there's a handprint. Feeble lies are not very becoming, Miss Hawthorne, so let's drop them, shall we? What? I would never. Miss Fay, I will not allow you to badger this witness. The Blue Badger. I believe the defense is engaged in the fishing expedition? What? That is, she has no supporting... What? Please don't glare at me like that. I'm just doing my job. Now then, Miss Hawthorne. The defendant's palm print was found. I didn't even have to present that. They just did it themselves. Okay. It has already been shown that Mr. Wright did, in fact, push the victim. I guess there was nothing that really said that, or, showed it in my court record. What? There's no need to try to cover for the defendant. It would be much better if you came out and told us the blah 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 blah, the whole truth.
There's nothing to worry about, young lady. Just tell us everything that you saw.
Yes, Your Honor. I will. If you don't mind, I'd like to revise my testimony. Looks like we're finally getting somewhere. Okay. You didn't see it. Well, I saw the moment when Dougie fell to the ground. And at that time, there was only the two of them at the scene. The defendant, Phoenix Wright, and the victim, Doug Swallow. Yes, that's right. It didn't look like they were fighting, and I didn't hear any noise either. So then, what did it look like they were doing to you? I thought they were having a nice, friendly afternoon conversation. Oh, give me a break. That's why I really wasn't watching them all that closely.
Did you notice anything out of the ordinary at all?
No, nothing at all, Mr. Judge.
Oh, I like the sound of that, Mr. Judge. Now I want you to call me Daddy.
Okay. When you say students, do you mean students from the pharmacology department? Does that matter? Yes, they're all very fond of their drugs. I'm sorry? Please try to stay on topic. So to find some pharmacology students, you went to the labs, correct? That's what I was planning to do, but in the end, I wound up not going. A group of about 10 research students came running out of the building entrance. Somehow they all seemed to know what was going on. The students knew what was going on? Dude. But how could the students have known what was going on? Well, I don't know for sure that they knew what had happened. It's just they all seemed kind of excited about something. Doesn't look like I'm going to get any more info about the students. So did the students call the police? Yes, I was so panicked.
Yes, well, anyone would have been, my dear.
That girl, she's telling a super obvious lie, and she knows it. Well, if you're telling a lie, you have to know it. So yes, she's just pretending to protect Mr. Wright. Yes, that's got to be it. Way to go, Mia. Okay, that means I'm going to have to dig deep to find the contradiction on this one. Okay, let's look at the stuff that I have. We got the thing. I mean, we got all the pictures and whatnot with the thing and the whatnot, and that's just the watch. You know, what does it... Should I look at the time on the watch, or does it not matter? It's probably going to be... they said it stopped working, so it probably just went all random to some random time, so it doesn't matter. we got this thing. His testimony. There's a loud sound. And we got this weird thing. Let me go back to her stuff. So you were gonna go to his place. He had a cold, but that's not totally out of the question that you wouldn't go see him just because he had a cold. You didn't see that. And you didn't hear the noise. Shouldn't you have still heard it, though? Should I present the umbrella on that? Or maybe his testimony, the fact that there was a loud sound? I'll give it a shot. You say you didn't hear any noise. Is that correct? Yes, that's why I was very relaxed looking at the scenery around me. That's nice, but I find that just a little odd. I have here the testimony of your boyfriend, Mr. Phoenix Wright, and he clearly testified to the effect that when he pushed the victim, he heard a sharp, loud noise. He said that? If you were really that close to the two of them, why didn't you hear this noise as well? Hi. Oh, she's looking a little... oh. Well, maybe the noise just wasn't all that memorable. But according to Mr. Wright's testimony, it was a sharp noise like a snap. There's no way a noise like that could fail to make an impression. Ah! May I have a moment to answer?
By all means.
I know the reason why I didn't hear the noise. You see, I'm actually deaf. I've been pretending. You see, the truth is, I had my headphones on, and I was listening to music at the time. Headphones? You mean that both of your ears were covered? The rain was just beginning to let up, but it seemed as though Thor wasn't ready for his fun to come to an end yet. Okay. So the sky continued to flash and rumble. Thunder and lightning, huh? Yes, I'm afraid of the sound of thunder. So I put my headphones on to block it out. He. Well, Your Honor, as you can see, there weren't any contradictions in her testimony after all. Wait a second, Mia. That testimony just now. She said something that should totally change this whole case. Lightning.
Oh my god!
Benjamin Franklin told me that lightning is electricity. I can't believe it. Your Honor, there is a problem with the witness's testimony.
What do you mean?
Didn't you notice? She said there was lightning, correct? But was there not any, though? Well, or was there? There was? Okay. Because that's what I said. Lightning's electricity, you know, but I was thinking, is she lying and there was no lightning? But I guess there was, because it was a thunderstorm. They said it was a small rain, but I guess it had some thunder and lightning, because Thor.
Now's not the time for a science lesson, Miss Fay.
Yes, Your Honor. Anyway, since the cause of death was electrocution, this is going on for pretty long, for the first case. Isn't it possible that the victim died from being hit by a bolt of lightning? Well, why is the cable snapped? Unless the umbrella really did do that.
I must admit that the thought had not occurred to me.
Just what kind of thoughts do occur to this guy anyway? That he wants to bang the redhead and probably go home and eat macaroni. This entire case is built on the premise that Mr. Doug Swallow was murdered. But that very premise, if you get struck by lightning, I think people can tell. Like, I'm pretty sure it leaves a mark. Yeah, unless the leather jacket has to do with it. I don't really know how leather reacts to that kind of thing. The defense believes that Mr. Swallow was, in fact, the victim of a stray bolt. Get me Thor in the courtroom, piece of shit, or Zeus, or whoever.
It happens the defense may be onto something. Could it be that the death was actually accidental?
Alright, you did it, Mia. I'll be taking that not guilty now. Whoa! I've heard that you have such a low opinion of me, Miss Fay. Huh? I'm not a fool, you know. The prosecution has done its research, Your Honor. We found that there were no lightning strikes on that day at the location. Yeah, it wouldn't. I don't see how that would make sense. Like, I'm pretty sure lightning like that would leave a pretty big impact, and you would know it. So, yeah.
Evidence, Mr. Payne. Well, what is this evidence?
This affidavit.
And who is this affidavit from?
The pharmacology students who were conducting experiments in their labs that day. Allow me to read out to the court the testimony of the pharmacology students. All equipment in the labs lost power all of a sudden at around 3 p.m. that day.
Was it a blackout?
All of the lab's equipment runs on high voltage, Your Honor. So you're saying the equipment lost power because... Precisely. They lost power because of the severed electrical cable. The power outage occurred at approximately 3 p.m.
Which fits with the time of death listed in the autopsy report.
Exactly. In other words, the victim died as a result of touching the severed electrical cable.
That does make more sense.
According to the students, the cables were very old. They were planning on having them replaced in the near future.
I see. Apparently the
cables had become so brittle that even the smallest bump would have caused them to break.
However, there is one thing that troubles me. If the cable could have been broken by any small bump, then it wouldn't have snapped if it hadn't been bumped into, correct?
Well, I suppose you could say that.
Miss Fay, do you have any thoughts regarding the cause of the severed cable?
Your Honor, I don't like how this is looking one bit. I have to come up with something to try to regain some momentum. If it pleases the court, the defense would like to state its opinion.
You know, it just hit me that it's a real shame that Mia's dead. She still sticks around with Maya and Pearl and everything, but it's a shame what happened to her. Getting to play as her now makes it kind of sad. Who or what was it that caused the cable to break? Well, I've been saying the umbrella the entire time. I'm gonna stick with that.
This is it. This is why the cable snapped. Well, Your Honor.
Don't shake your head at me.
Ah, that was one of your best lines yet, Your Honor.
Niff. Okay, that was wrong. Okay, well. Well then, let's hear it. Oh, I don't lose health for that either? Alright, man. Cool. Okay, well, there's nothing else here. There's no other items. Can I read this? Murder in the courthouse. Very little information is being disclosed at this time, since the victim of yesterday's incident in the district courthouse cafeteria is said to have been a lawyer. However, police are questioning the 19-year-old female college student who was sitting with the victim. That was totally Mia's boyfriend or something. Anyway, does that mean it was somebody, not something? Could it have been her then? Or was it him by some kind of accident? I thought the umbrella was the most likely thing, but should I just straight up accuse her? I'll go for it, I guess. They're not penalizing me.
Well, Your Honor.
I feel like that's just not correct. No? I mean, they would say no even if that was right, because they like her. Okay, well, I can just keep going until I get it right, I guess.